Hello, welcome to my channel WWE Pulse.
In Teesbydale, we're going to be looking at one of WWE's most important yet controversial divisions. Key point, a division for smaller, high-flying wrestlers that typically weigh under 205 pounds. The purpose of the Cruiserweight Division is to provide a platform for wrestlers who may not have the size or power of someone like Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns, but instead rely on speed, agility, and technical prowess to compete. At its best, Cruiserweight matches are fast-paced, athletic showcases of in-ring skill. Think of it as the NBA of WWE. Not every wrestler can be a dominant force like Shaquille O'Neal. But with the right opportunity, even the smallest athletes can shine. The Cruiserweight Division aims to celebrate those smaller wrestlers who might get lost in the shuffle otherwise. But the path to creating a successful Cruiserweight Division has been anything but straightforward. It was born out of necessity, and quickly became a fan favorite before being unceremoniously cast aside. Then after years of fan campaigning, it was resurrected and placed under the NXT banner, where it found new life and gave us some of the most exciting matches in professional wrestling. However, it wasn't without its growing pains. And after a few years of development, the Cruiserweights were once again moved, this time to Raw, but without the creative direction of NXT. Many felt that the Cruiserweight Division became a dumping ground for wrestlers who didn't quite fit in on the main roster. This led to fans losing interest and the division falling into obscurity once again. So let's take a look back at the highs and lows of the Cruiserweight Division, shall we? Let's start at the beginning. NWA. Technically speaking, the Cruiserweight Division was born on October 1988 when Ric Flair and his cronies took over the National Wrestling Alliance. They wanted to make NWA wrestling more athletic and less about brute strength. So they added a junior heavyweight championship to the roster. Wrestlers like Brian Pillman, Pat Tanaka, Steve Williams, and a young Marty Garner thrived in this new division. After seeing what the fans enjoyed, the World Wrestling Federation would follow suit and introduce their own version of the Cruiserweight Championship, WWF. Initially, the WWF had no plans for a Cruiserweight division. In fact, the first ever WWF Cruiserweight champion was actually an accident. Originally, the WWF had planned to push Shawn Michaels as a babyface, which is essentially the wrestling term for good guy. But Michaels was naturally a heel, which is the wrestling term for bad guy. So the powers that be decided to rebrand Michaels as the brash, arrogant, and self-proclaimed Heartbreak Kid to help solidify this heel turn. Michaels was given a championship belt that was smaller than the traditional WWF title belt. This was supposed to be a one-off thing, but the fans loved it so much that it became a recurring gag. So on August 1991, Vince McMahon officially sanctioned the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship. The championship was retired just a few months later when the 1992 Royal Rumble saw the introduction of the WWF's new tournament-style Battle Royal. Michaels would end up winning that match and capturing the vacant WWF title. After that, the Light Heavyweight Championship would remain dormant until 1996, when it would be renamed the WWF Cruiserweight Championship. This time around, the focus of the division would be on high-flying lucha libre, and the division would feature wrestlers like Rey Mysterio and the returning Shawn Michaels. But this iteration of the division was short-lived and it folded once again in late 1997 WCW, while the Cruiserweight Division was on hiatus in WWF. WCW was busy establishing themselves as a legitimate competitor. To do this, they needed to assemble a roster of top-level talent. This included many of the same wrestlers that the WWF had showcased in their version of the division. Now known as cruiserweights, these smaller, agile wrestlers were able to hold their own against the bigger, stronger guys. Thanks to WCW's emphasis on athleticism, cruiserweight matches were often fast-paced affairs with plenty of high spots that left fans on the edge of their seats. The division was also notable for its diverse array of characters. Everything from the daredevil like Rayo de la Gaza to the technical wizardry of Dean Malenko to the charismatic showman and Eddie Guerrero. But despite the division's popularity, WCW would fold in 2001, and with it the Cruiserweight Division. You know what happened next? Oh yeah, WWE purchased WCW in late 2001. With this acquisition came a slew of new talent, including several well-known cruiserweight. WWE decided to rebrand the Cruiserweight Division as the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Initially, the division consisted of wrestlers who were too small for the main roster. But WWE soon realized that these athletes could put on amazing matches if given the right opportunity. Some of the biggest stars of this era include Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and Rey Mysterio. Unfortunately, this run for the Cruiserweight Division would also be short. By 2007, WWE would drop the Cruiserweight title, citing low viewership as the reason. We all know that the WWE never does anything for no reason. So why did they really get rid of the Cruiserweight Division? Well, according to WWE, the division was eliminated due to declining TV ratings. However, there may have been more to the decision than met the eye. You see, WWE had a big problem. They had too many wrestlers on their roster. With injuries being commonplace in the industry, WWE needed to cut costs wherever possible. Unfortunately, the Cruiserweight Division was seen as a liability rather than an asset. As such, WWE decided to let go of many of the talented cruiserweights, including some of the biggest names in the division's history. This move left fans disappointed and confused, wondering why such a popular division was being disbanded. The truth is that WWE made a mistake. They got rid of the Cruiserweight Division too soon. Low-keyly. The division would be resurrected in 2015 when WWE announced the launch of a new brand called NXT. NXT was designed to be a developmental territory for up-and-coming wrestlers, allowing them to gain experience in a more relaxed environment. This gave WWE the perfect opportunity to rebuild the Cruiserweight Division and showcase the talents of some truly gifted athletes. The inaugural WWE Cruiserweight Classic was a tournament to crown the first WWE Cruiserweight Champion since 2007. The tournament featured a stellar lineup of competitors from all over the world, each bringing their unique style and charisma to the ring. The matches were fast-paced and action-packed with plenty of high-flying moves that left fans on the edge of their seats. Ultimately, it was Finn Balor who emerged victorious, capturing the coveted Cruiserweight title. From there, the division went on to produce some of the most exciting and innovative matches in professional wrestling history. With the guidance of NXT's creative team, the Cruiserweights were able to experiment with new moves and styles, pushing the boundaries of what is possible inside the ring. The addition of the Cruiserweight Division to NXT proved to be breathed new life into the division and gave fans a chance to see some of the most talented wrestlers in the world in a more intimate setting. Unfortunately, the Cruiserweight Division would once again find itself on the chopping block in September 2021. WWE announced that the NXT Cruiserweight Championship would be retired and the title would become part of the main roster. But don't worry, I'm sure it'll be fine. Right? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Look, we all remember how the Cruiserweight Division was treated on the main roster in the mid-2000s. And honestly, not much has changed this time around. The Cruiserweight Division has been reduced to a means to fill out the card with low stakes matches that have little impact on the overall product. Many of the wrestlers signed to the division are talented athletes who deserve better booking in storylines. There have been glimmers of hope, like the brief but exciting feud between Santos Escobar and Tony Nese. But these moments are few and far between. The sad reality is that the Cruiserweight Division has become a dumping ground for wrestlers who do UNT fit in on the main roster. This isn't what WWE originally intended when they brought the division back in 2015. Back then, they wanted to create a developmental territory where up-and-coming wrestlers could learn and grow. Instead, the Cruiserweight Division has become a sideshow that detracts from the overall quality of WWE programming. Look, we get it. WWE is a business and they need to make decisions that are in the best interest of the company. But we can't help but feel that the Cruiserweight Division has been Here's hoping that WWE finds a way to give these talented athletes the spotlight they deserve. What do you think? Should the Cruiserweight Division be scrapped altogether, or do you think it has potential to be great? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And as always, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Okay guys, thank you for watching my videos.